Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hungry Bleak show. I am Antonio Pomares. It's been a bit of a day already, but it ends the year. I've said too many times this year. I've said it's been a day. But first off, how are you doing? How are you feeling? How was the week? I know you got the holidays, and right in the beginning of the week, right smack in the beginning of the week, right? It's crazy, right? I hope everything went well for you. I hope dinner was good. Whatever you decided to celebrate or don't celebrate, whatever. Hope you got to enjoy yourself, relax, kick your feet up a little bit. Hope you got stuff that you wanted. Maybe socks, maybe a tie, maybe a PS5, maybe new TV, maybe a BBL. I don't know. Whatever you wanted for your holidays. It's fine. It's great. It's cool. First off, I want to say, actually, second off, since I already said first off, I want to say thank you so very much to Nikosi Media. The ad, like the little video promo that I use on social media, was created by them as a way of supporting me and just saying thank you. As far as being like an indie broadcaster, I truly am like awestruck. I'm appreciative of it. It was such a great thing for them to do, and thank you so very much. It was so cool. I was just so dumbfounded. They actually did it once, and they were like, "Oh, you know what? I didn't like the way my voice came out. I'm going to do it again." I was like, "No, no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine." They did it again. I was like, thank you so very much." I was just so very appreciative. It's awesome. Just a nice uh like support system of because I talk about sometimes about support indie broadcasters, podcasters, YouTubers, content creators, media, what have you, because we're talking about all these projects that are out there. Um, so we have to watch a lot of stuff. We have to read a lot of stuff. We have to pay attention to a lot of things. We have to, go through things. And, you know, we are here to put you over. So to have somebody go, "Hey, I made you this. Hope you like it. Use it. What have you." Unbeknownst to me, was just great. So thank you very much to Nikosi uh, Media. I've run their trailer a couple times for a couple of their projects. So it's awesome. Thank you very much. Awesome. So it's the end of the year, right? 2023 wasn't that bad. It was all right. It wasn't that bad, but there were moments. Right, but we had a lot of cool stuff came out as far as comics and such like that. I mean, movies. I'm not even gonna. That would be something that I would discuss with my partner in fandom, Michael Williams, the Cinema CEO of the Cinema God, as always. But yeah, actually, this past week, no, this week, excuse me, I went and saw the Iron Claw because I'm a wrestling fan. I'm a professional wrestling fan, and I know the story, but then to watch it play out was just heartbreaking, bittersweet, and yet um, encouraging for you to keep pushing and keep going on, and to keep fighting. If there was ever a true story that was perfect for A24, it was the Von Erichs, just because of everything that happened in their family and just you know just a tragic, but such a loving relationship between all the brothers was great. And then I saw Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Yeah, so let's talk about this year in review. So a lot of comics came out. A plethora of comics came out. A boatload of comics came out. A shadoodle of comics came out. So a lot of comics. I read, I think, too many. I'll be honest with you. Um, but there were some incredible, incredible comics uh, that came out. So I'll give you some of my favorites, some of my lists, what have you. And at the end of the show, I'm going to have a list of people that I want to say thank you to and shout out and whatever, just my acknowledgement of them. Oh, by the way, last t-shirt of the year, Animal Arithmetic. Awesome. Very happy. I wash the shirt. I normally wash shirts before I get them. Like, excuse me, when I first get them, just because, the process of making a shirt and everything. And a lot of tags will actually say wash a shirt anyway, so I try to do that. I washed it and then I forgot about it. And I went to get a black shirt If you know me, I have basically all the black tank tops and all the black shirts. So I went to grab a t-shirt, and I looked and I said, "Hey, this feels different." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I haven't worn this. I gotta wear this." So yes, very much awesome t-shirt, and really cool. The soundtrack is bad. I love soundtracks. I love comics with soundtracks now. That's my thing. It's my jam. I love it. All right, so let's start off. I have notes on my phone, so don't mind if I look to the side. I will be getting a mug. Man, there's a lot of product placement in this episode. Jeez, what the hell? Thank you, Keith Cross, for this mug. Awesome. Keith did what I've been asking more from more Kickstarters, and I'm like, yo, I'm obviously, I love t-shirts. They're great. Awesome. T-shirts and stickers are great, but mugs, coffee mugs, start putting those if you're able to. Obviously, that's a great little add-on. A lot of people drink coffee, tea. I'm more of a tea drinker. I love it. You know what else I do during the summertime? I'll put ice cream in them and eat it out. I love eating ice cream out of mugs. I gotta stop. My pauses are very awkward when I speak sometimes, and I just get myself into trouble. Anyway, so thank you very much for that. So let's start with best limited series, or my favorites. I should say favorites. I shouldn't say best because I don't do awards and stuff like that. Doesn't matter. But my favorites were Siren of the City. Sirens of the Sea, excuse me. This was incredible from Boom. I've talked about this. I even got to review it for blacksci-fi.com. Review is still up for issue 1 and 2, I believe. Issue still up at blacksci-fi.com. Just look up the reviews and check me out there. I don't know what this is. This is not. Yeah, we're just going to disavow that, whatever. I love this series. Set in 1980s New York, dark urban fantasy is what it shows, but the core of the story is about body autonomy and the decisions that we should be able to make with our own bodies, and decisions that we should be able to make for ourselves, and not having someone tell us what to do, or not having to adhere to, this is what you should do. This is what we do in this family. You being able to blaze your own path and do what you want to do, if that's what you choose, if that's where your mind's at. Absolutely love this one. Issue 6 is coming out, which is the final issue, unfortunately, is coming out in January. I want to say this has been just a phenomenal title. I mean, Randolph and Star are awesome. Great duo with creating this. Now with this being over, it's bittersweet because I enjoy short series now. I'm enjoying limited series much more than long runs on comics. I like something that's finite like that. It's great. But it also will leave a hole because I'll be like, damn. But a wonderful read was had. So I'm good with that. Another one is Mosley. Yes, I was lucky enough to have Rob Guillory on the show to speak about Mosley. This comic, also from Boom, came out around the same time that we were starting to have the big debates about AI and art. And the comic happens to be about this man who is fighting against AI, and how AI has humanity kind of gave over society to AI, and now AI has almost created like these gods, and he has to fight them with this mythical ability. I think this is going to be a limited series because the ending, I kind of like when endings are kind of like, it's a limited series, but we could come back to it because we can continue. So I'm not sure where they're going to go with it. Even if it's a limited series and it just stays that way, I think it was still so good. I really enjoyed it. I would love to see this as a movie on Amazon. Notice I didn't say Netflix. I said Amazon, even though Amazon wants to start using ad breaks and stuff. Whatever. But yeah, this was great. Really loved it. And seeing the philosophical discussion about AI and where it goes, it really brought up a lot of debates with people. And I think putting it in the context of a comic maybe made it a little easier for some people to digest the idea of AI. And there being two arguments for, there being an argument for and against AI in the comic as well. One from the main protagonist and one from his daughter. who was actually working with AI. Phenomenal stuff. Really enjoyed it. I believe it was 5 issues. I want to say 5 issues from Boom. Mosley, astronomical. Loved it. This one is no brainer. Creed the next round. I've talked about this, and one of the best things out there this year. This takes place 10 years after Creed 3. And Amara is a boxer, a young amateur boxer. We're getting a young black deaf girl boxing and carrying on the tradition of the Creed family. Absolutely loved it. The fact that they actually put in African American sign language is awesome. It made me want to learn sign language because of how it was done. The word bubbles were very intricate. Where when someone was speaking when someone was actually speaking, the word bubble would come from their mouth. When someone was signing, the word bubble would come from the hands, but it was a different word bubble. Absolutely loved it. I think this was great, even for them to have someone to work with them to get the sign language right. So important. Such an incredible detail that needed to be there. Phenomenal. Absolutely loved it. Yes. Good Deeds. This was from Dark Spaces collection, which is from like Snyder. Awesome. Absolutely loved this. It was again another limit. I want to say this was 6 issues. Tells the story of St. Augustine, which, if you know St. Augustine, it's like the oldest place in North America, I want to say, or maybe just America. It's in Florida. That should tell you a lot right there. And it's where Ponce de Leon came and didn't discover anything, except he discovered people that they could beat, assault, slaughter, um, rape, pillage, steal from, those things. And the story of pretty much of revenge against settlers, against these people who came and just ravaged the land and the people. It takes place in modern day. Um, this young girl and her mother come to town to open up a diner, and we start seeing these murders, these mysterious murders that are happening, gruesome, mysterious murders that are happening. And the reporter comes there looking to redeem her reputation um, by working for a paper and doing a puff piece on this anniversary for St. Augustine, but ends up covering the murders, and it becomes a deeper story. This is a perfect. When I was reading this, I was actually starting to watch the last season, the last season of a the Reservation Dogs. So if you know where I'm going, then the Deer Lady. This is what this reminded me of. So awesome, so great, absolutely loved it. Go and check out uh, Good Deeds. It's well worth it. I love reading horror all year, but I especially love reading horror in the summer and in the fall. It just seems to blend perfectly together. Not sure why, but it does. Excuse me, folks. And then we have The Madness. This is out of AWA Studios, Upshot. I'm a big fan of AWA Studios and Upshot. It's phenomenal. A story of this woman who has powers, but she could only use one power at a time. So she has invulnerability, super strength, flight, super speed. She can only use them one at a time. So she's committing this heist and stealing from this big corporation, what have you. And they have superheroes, and they have like government funded heroes or corporate funded heroes, and they go, okay, well, we found out who this is. We're going to kill her. So they go to kill her. They end up killing her family, and this other persona comes out that's called the Madness. You don't know if it's a split personality. You don't, or I should say, DID, dissociative identity disorder. You don't know if it's another personality. You don't know if it's an emotional block. You don't know if it's her. You don't know where it's coming from. You don't know if it's her powers manifesting on their own. You're not exactly sure. I absolutely loved it because I love the fact of someone with powers who isn't necessarily who's kind of like doing like a Robin Hood kind of a thing, but then goes to the other side darker. There was another series similar to this as Torrent. Torrent was what happens when a superhero becomes a vigilante because of the murder of their family. So I love things that are kind of twisting it like that, where it's not just they don't become the Punisher. Um, it who's always been like this vigilante mass murderer, truthfully, character, even though I read Punisher because psychology is very interesting. But you begin to see what has transpired, how the madness became. And it happened when she was a very little girl. It's awesome. Excuse me, folks. Every day is a long day. Seriously. So yeah, that one really gets me. I loved it. Um, and those are my limited series of the year. Like I said, I like comics that are limited series now. I don't want to read 500 of a comic. Even comics that I truly and dearly love, like Noble, like top tier superhero comic, just incredible. Noble from Catalyst Prime, if you don't know, absolutely loved it. I think that's what cemented Brandon Thomas as one of my favorite writers. Was that series? I was already a fan. Then reading Noble, I was like, wow, this is, and showing the black love and everything. But as much as I love that series, I don't think I'd want it to go on for 500 issues, because at a certain point, something like that can become stagnant, can become complacent, can become just there. Even if you bring on new writers and breathe new life into it, it can still happen. So I like that feeling of, wow, it's here. Okay, good. Having that moment, that moment in time, that bubble of X amount of issues. I love that. And then going on, it also makes it a bit easier for readers because, perdóname, because there are so many comics out there. It's hard to read them all. It truly is. And take it from me, there is. I'm backed up on stuff that I gotta read, and it just becomes a lot. I think at a certain point, the writer's like, you know what? I think I've told every story that I can tell with these characters. Then maybe they bring someone else in, they tell a story that they want, but still it becomes stagnant. So having that finite amount, especially because it's like a one and done, is brilliant. I love that. So series are cool because you can have so many different things in them. You can have a series that's extremely well written. You can have a series that's a tearjerker. You can have a series that makes you think. You have one that's about history. You can have one that's about math. You can have one that makes you want to fall in love. You can have one that makes you everything. Sometimes you just want a series that is fun as hell. It's good and it's fun. The two most fun reads I had this year were Blade, the new Blade series. Hill and Casagrande are doing incredible work. I got to have Brian Hill on the show as well. Thank you. And something that he said was, I want to do like big budget movie stuff. And I never thought about that. Yeah, you can do anything. I mean, if your artist is up for it, they can do anything. Like, you don't have to worry about a stunt person or the budget for getting a helicopter and a train and everything. You can just do whatever. And I love that idea. So in a year where we're not getting a Blade movie, we will be getting a Blade video game, which I'm so stoked about it. I got to rob somebody for a PS5, unfortunately. Joke. And giving us this comment, we're getting this as well. I absolutely loved it. It's fun, it's sleek, it's sexy. It's the Blade I've always wanted. And it's the Blade that I think would be good in the MCU. But it has to be a darker side. The supernatural side should be a little bit darker anyway, because supernatural things, you're dealing with unsavory characters, denizens of different dimensions, universes, whatever, hell dimensions even too. Excuse me again. So that's just fun, and Blade just being unabashedly Blade, and the fighting, and these great epic fights. There's an episode that's how I'm thinking of it. There's an issue where there's a train heist. What? And Doctor Strange is helping him. What? But there's going to be a big event coming later on, I think in January, February, where it's going to be like this big vampire event, and Blade's going to be in there. Awesome. I hope we get to see Bloodline as well in there. I would love to see her and her father mixing it up. I think that would be great. Another one is Worlds Away. Issue 4 came out this year, and just so, I think it was issue 3 and 4 came out this year. So much fun. Damien Becton and his team doing amazing work. The fact that this book is actually getting picked up, I believe it was Band of Bards is going to be picking it up to publish it as well. Astronomical. I have the originals from this one. I want to actually get the ones from Band of Bards as well, because this was such a fun comic, and it's so endearing, and about family and about perseverance. It's about this mother and daughter who are on this planet, who are stuck on this planet, and they're trying to escape it. And it tells you the backstory of how the mother and daughter um, were were put into an escape pod by the father, and the father said, "Look, go, save her. Don't worry about me." And the father sacrifices himself for the mother and the daughter. The mother wanted to fight; she wanted to be the one to sacrifice herself for them. They're both these soldiers and fighters, everything, and warriors. And the story is a mix of, I want to say, excuse me again, I want to say it feels almost like a Mass Effect Voltron kind of feel, along with a it feels like an open world game, and I love that feeling of them fighting and trying to get through everything and just trying to get on this planet. And you have magic and science mixed in together. Uh, it's just so cool and so much fun. Definitely check this one out. It's 4 issues now. And there was a really smoking hot T-shirt that came with it. Oh, formidable Kimber. Oh, tout le monde. So those are those were my fun reads of the year. There were a lot of great comics, but those two were just the most fun to me, and they took me out of everything. I wasn't thinking about, oh, with this character, and I wasn't thinking about any real world issues or problems. I was thinking, how is Blade going to get this sword to fight this demon? How is Blade going to come up against this? How is Blade going to get Lucifer's sword? And I was thinking, how are they going to get off this planet? It was just really fun. And I love that. If you can take me out of my day for like 40 minutes, sometimes that's all I can ask for, truthfully. Next were best shock moments. Things I did not think I was going to see, and then I saw them. And I'm not mad at it. I was like, oh, first, Spawn in issue 30 of Philadelphia. Did not see that coming. I did not see that coming. And it was so great. Again, Philadelphia is an incredible book. They're on issue 32, just came out this week or last week. And we're seeing Spawn fighting along the Sangsters and Anansi. It's just really cool to take this character that is so important, so um, so iconic, and put it into a comic that you did not expect to see Spawn pop. You don't expect to see Spawn or any of it. Almost has layers to it, because Spawn is in the Invincible universe, I want to say, in comics. I think they fought together. You also have Noble Causes, if you know about that comic, that soap opera, Um, Savage Dragon. Oh, Savage Dragon in Philadelphia. Oh, wow. Awesome. Yeah, so that character being in there says so much. And Philadelphia is like a new great franchise for Sky, for Image, and Rodney Barnes and Jason Sean Alexander, I believe, doing some phenomenal work with this. They also have Blackula, and Blackula is going to be teaming with another character, Harriet Tubman, Demon Slayer, um, from Kingwood, I want to say, but from Crownson. That's going to be ridiculous. I'm so excited to see that, because before they did that, when I saw Spawn pop up, I said, so how long between Harriet Tubman and the Sangsters? Because in Philadelphia, they've taken a lot of historical characters. It's an urban horror that gives you elements of history as well, like having the presidents in there, and Washington, and Jefferson, and all of the, and just doing this incredible story. I'm excited for this. So yeah, Philadelphia has reached like this, like what the hell, like who else could possibly show up then? Again, Harriet Tubman, I wouldn't be mad at all. Speaking of Harriet Tubman being displayed in Times Square, right above Nasdaq. Crownson was on CNN. I want to say CNN, which is huge and big, um, especially for a black indie creator. And I don't mean to say it like that, but the world was not looking for the longest time. And now the world sees where a lot of our money is going, and the properties out there are phenomenal. They are incredible. That's why your Marvel and DC are asking these writers, these artists to do these books, whether it's a long stint, whether it's just a limited series. They're asking them to do this. That's why, because they see where it's at. They know we're going to go to it. But as much as I might like seeing you do this, I'm here for your creative stuff because it's always awesome and it's authentic and it's you. And that's what's up. It's your creation. That was a huge thing. Congratulations to Donald Crowns and David. I don't know why I keep saying Donald. I apologize. David Crowns. That's a phenomenal thing, truthfully. And you have earned every bit of accolades that you've gotten. And to be up on that huge screen in Times Square, phenomenal work. And yeah, I love it. I actually went back to reread um, uh, Harriet Tubman, and I was just like, yeah, this is like a no. Things that we're reading, we go, yeah, this will be great. This is a no-brainer. Takes them 10, 15, whatever years to see it. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. The other moment that got me, which was out of nowhere, was Void Rivals. For a while, Void Rivals, the appearance of a transformer. I think it was Sunshine. I can't remember their names. There was talk of a universe that was going to connect GI Joe and Transformers. It was going to be called the Energon universe. Really cool idea. Love it. Great. Bring it. They've been talking about it for a while, and I was like, all right, cool. And I'm sitting there and I'm reading Void Angels. Excuse me. Uh, Void Rivals, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. This is awesome. This is cool. In the middle of the comic, I see the ship, and I go, what? There's no way. There's no way. And it ends up being that it's them. It's a transformer. I said, holy cow. And I said, wait, oh, this is going to be that universe. So they've already released G.I. Joe, Duke, Transformers, and Void Angels. Next one up, I believe, is Cobra Commander, who's going to be getting their comic. It's such an awesome idea. Kirkman's on a roll, obviously, because he's Kirkman. I don't know what to say about that. It's awesome. I love it. I need to get back into it. Like I said, I'm reading so much that I have to kind of pull back. I pull back on a few things that comics I was digging, but I have to love it for you to really get me there. I have to. That's where the bar is at now. But it's one that I want to go back to, uh, especially with um, Moon Knight. This would have been a shock one, but it isn't because they've been talking about this for a while. With Moon Knight dying and that series ending, but they're adding a new series called Fists of Khonshu, which is going to be all of the people he worked with during this latest run of Moon Knight and who worked at the Midnight Mission are going to be a team working in the Midnight Mission to continue the work that Moon Knight was doing, that Mark Spector was doing. The end of that comic and seeing them all in that group shot on the couch with a possible client was awesome. I absolutely loved it. That would have been one, but it didn't because they had been talking about it for a while. What have you? So cool though. I don't like to be negative about stuff, but I've got to be negative on one thing. So series that went left, like they just, I was like, wait, what? And yeah, I feel like it killed the series because where they were going was a really cool idea, and I don't know what the creative for it was. I don't know. Maybe they had a reason, but I believe the series is canceled now. Is Deathstroke Inc. I'm a Deathstroke fan. One of the most despicable characters possible, but there's a weird, um, a weird morality to Deathstroke. They'll do the worst possible things because they think that the best outcome will happen. It usually does not. It usually just turns out horrible. Um, and that series, it started out with Deathstroke working along with Black Canary, which I love the two of them together. Also, her new costume is awesome. I love that emblem. Uh, with them working together, and then I think after issue 6, they're not working together anymore. I don't know where she went, and it just I felt like I had missed things when I was reading it. That's how I felt, and I hate feeling like that. But I had all the issues. I checked, and I think it's done now. I think it was only 12 issues, I believe. Que sera, sera. What will be. Yakety schmackety. I don't know what else to tell you. Next we have, because my eyelids are obviously messed up. Um, best debut issue. I'm gonna say Soul Nebula from Subsume. This was created. This was the idea of Dedrin Sneed, and then written by Robert Jeffrey, who's one of my favorite writers. This comic, within the first maybe 8 pages, I had to put it down and take a walk because it got me so angry because of pilgrims. Um, Dedrin asked me to read it, to give my impressions on it, and it was just phenomenal. Um, Pilgrims are leaving Earth. Pilgrims is another word for colonizers, which is another word for um, you, European Americans. Let's use that term. Uh, white people. They're leaving Earth to go find another planet, and they're going to do the same exact thing. They're going to pillage the land. They're going to destroy. They're going to do. They haven't learned anything, and because Earth has been ravaged, so they're going to another planet. So they're leaving all of us, melanated people here. That's kind of where the story starts. That alone was enough to piss me off. That alone was enough to piss me off. And then it becomes a story about this crew. This is perfect Robert Jeffrey thing. Um, let Robert Jeffrey put together a crew of space explorers. Yeah, and it becomes it's almost like an origin story. It felt good. It felt good, kind of like the first episode of Star Trek Next Generation. I think it was Incident at Farpoint. I think that's the title of it. It felt like that. You get these people coming together to go out into space and explore and find a new place. I absolutely loved it. It's just so incredible. Um, I just yeah. I read this in, I want to say summertime, June, maybe, and I was just sitting there like, you got to be kidding me, man! This is awesome. This is one of the best things, and I know Robert was having an absolute field day. I could see him doing cartwheels while writing this. Literally, I could see him doing cartwheels while writing this. I thought it was great. Then we have Wonder Woman, but this is Wonder Woman by Tom King. We all know Tom King. Tom King takes the whole mythos of superheroes and skews the view just a little bit to make you go, wait, what? There's an incident at a bar involving an Amazon here in America, and the Amazon ends up just demolishing the place, just laying waste to these men who have been harassing her. The government decides um, to revoke citizenship for all Amazons. They have to get out, and they start sending around little, like, groups of soldiers to get them all. Anyone who is registered, and it becomes a witch hunt almost. And it becomes similar to what America has done in the past when they're looking to round up people who are not, quote unquote, from here. which is ironic because the people who are saying that they want to round people up are people who are not, whose ancestors were not from here. Always irony. And it's Wonder Woman trying to figure, and it's Wonder Woman saying, "I'm not leaving," and trying to figure out what's going on, what happened, and you don't see who the Amazon is, which we may, but it doesn't really matter. It's the fact of this happening at all, and this military group that's going around looking for Amazons, and how families are torn apart, people are killed in this endeavor. There's a very there's one particular panel that's very tragic of um, two mothers and their daughter, and what happens, and which is very, and it but it hits hard because it's a real thing that happens. That's what I love about comics. Comics take real life situations, things are really happening. They'll put it through the lens that's a little bit easier for you to see in using superheroes or mythical creatures or what have you, and they'll give this to you and say, this is a real world issue that's in this comic. And sometimes it can make you understand the topic a little bit more. And you can have a little more empathy because you're seeing it happen to a character that you love, um, or a character that you've grown up with, what have you, in this form. And it makes it easier, which is really fun when people say, oh, comics never been political. You're either trolling or you're being willfully ignorant, or both. I mean, why not do both? Um, yeah, it's just great. And then there's a spin-off of that called Amazon's Attack. It's Nubia, Mary Marvel. Oh my god, who else is in it? I'm trying to remember the other members. Nubia, Mary Marvel. I think Wonder Girl might be in this. I don't remember which Wonder Girl. I think it's like two more. I think it's like 4 or 5 people in this group. And they're trying to figure out what's going on, what's happened, and why. And it's kind of this ragtag group of women that are out there doing this, and it's really it's really cool. I have to catch up on that, and I have to catch up on Wonder Woman as well. I think I'm on issue 3 of Wonder Woman. There's 4 issues out now, I believe. Look, I could go here all day, every day, telling you about all the great comics there are, but those are just some of the few that were out, and they are amazing, and I think incredible. So, if you like any of the comics I talked about, if you've seen any comic book movies this year, and you want to know more about their stories, you want to know more about the characters, I implore you, go to your local comic book shop. Tell them I saw X, Y, and Z. I want to know more about this character, or do you have anything that's similar to that that I might like also? The comic book uh, employees, store employees, excuse me, will be more than happy to tell you, oh, if you like that, there's this story. If you like that character, there's this story about them. If you want something similar to that, but a little different with this tone, there's this over here. They're always willing. Any store I've been into where I didn't know what I was looking for, they were more than willing to tell me, oh, there's this, this, and this. Amazing stuff. I've always known what I've wanted to look for, luckily. But I love seeing people go in and they'll say, oh, I just saw this and I want to know more about this. Or if they're in there for a loved one, whether it's a child, a significant other, parent, whatever, they're like, oh, yeah, I saw this. They like this. They have all of this. Is there something else that you can recommend that's similar to this comic, what have you? And they will go and they will tell you about whatever's out there. They'll show you. They'll let you know. They'll let you know if it's something that they're able to order, what have you. Comic books are not like they used to be. They're not these dark denizens of hunched over men looking at the sunlight and squinting and can't figure out. There are these beautiful areas now where the sun is coming in, and you'll see people of all identities in the stores, across like I said, all identities, whether it's religion, whether it's gender, whether it's sexuality, whether it's race, whatever creeds, color, everything. I think it's always great, and I love that about comic book shops now, that they're so inviting and they're letting everyone come in, because comics are for everyone, and that's the whole point of it. So check these comics out, and yeah, just read, and then when you find something new, go read that too and tell people about it. Tell people about the comic that you're reading. Tell people about it. Let people know, just like I'm about to let you know. Um, this, like I said, this is the last show of the year. It's been a great year. Um, but actually, this is my last show. Yeah, this is my last show as 45. Today is my birthday eve. Shameless plug for me. And tomorrow I will be 46. Well, that's usually what comes after 45. I will be 46. Well, I guess unless you're a leap year. I don't know how they do that though. I don't know how they do. I've always been curious about that. I mean, you are a year older, but you didn't have your birthday. But you are a year older. I don't know. It's very weird. Anyway, yeah. So I will be 46 tomorrow. Um, as you can see, look, I decided to let my goatee grow out again, and as you can see, there's a little more salt in there along with the pepper. But who doesn't want a well-seasoned piece of meat, right? I regret saying that already. The minute it hit my tongue, I admittedly was regretting saying that. It sounded good, but it just was horrible, truly. But yes, I'm a little older. I'm a little bit wiser, hopefully. But I've had a good year. I have stayed consistent with doing this show and coming to you just about every week through all the trials and tribulations of my life over the last couple years. I've always tried to come here and give you that, and whether it's give you a bit of a laugh, make you think, reprimand you for something, or just be a goofball, or whether having one of these incredible guests who I have had a plethora of them. Thank you so very much to all the guests I've had. I have always done that and tried to keep my integrity in check and in place, because sometimes I can get on a high horse, but I want to make sure that my integrity is there regardless. And I want this to always be a safe space, and that's why I created the show. And having the guests that I've had have been amazing. I mean, God, I want to thank Rico for coming on and trusting me with, like, one of his first interviews for his comic. Aleem Leggett, who was just diabolical and awesome with Sweet Pea, and the whole talk that we had about trauma was just so, yeah, it was just so cool. I was just, yeah, I, yeah. Um, Tanya Ransom, such an incredible person, so cool. You're awesome. Your podcasts are great, and your transparency and your open vulnerability is just inspiring to me. And I'm looking at you like I want to be able to have that type of transparency and the elegance and the ability to articulate it so well. You do that in such a great way. So thank you, Tanya. Seriously. Allison Cheney, it was incredible speaking to you, getting more knowledge about the writer's strike, um, talking about the Raven Code, and just you being here and giving of your time here with me was awesome. I absolutely loved it, and it was so cool. Brian E. Hill was incredible. I had so much fun. I learned uh, from listening to him about not just comics but also movies. Rob Guillory, thank you for telling me how to say your name, and I had a great time talking to you. Awesome. You're one of my favorite artists out there, and I need to get back into Chew and finish that story because it was great. Wow, I sound like Cody um, Rhodes. I got to finish my story, which were just some of the those were just some of the guests I had on. You know, uh, people I wanted to shout out and just say thank you to. M. Shy S. Dash, you are one of the best to ever do it. Thank you so very much. You are one of the most supportive people ever out there. You are incredible. And I cannot wait to see everything more that you have planned that you're going to just crack over our heads with in 2024. Eve L. Ewing, thank you for bringing Black Panther to us and being a bright spot. This series has been so good, and it feels so positive, and it feels like a breath of fresh air. And you're awesome, and your series is so great. I'm absolutely loving it. Absolutely loving it. Awesome. Cerise Rennie Murphy, You have helped me in ways I can't even begin to articulate. Thank you so very much for making me think, for having this incredible idea of Virtuous Con. And Virtuous Con has like set off so many sparks in my brain that it's amazing. Um, and your bright light in this world, and seeing you at cons and how you interact with new and existing readers is incredible, amazing. You are one of the best out there to do it, and everything that you do is awesome. Thank you so very much for being here in these spaces. Micheline Hess, what can I say about the Road Warrior? You, you are one of the best. Incredible art, phenomenal person, um, a weary traveler of all manners, a part of Milestone, the original. She was a part of the original Milestone. I wish she was in these documents and such. I loved hearing her story about Milestone. It was so empowering and so incredible and so amazing. I loved it. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was so important to hear. Thank you for sharing that. That was very important. Uh, Regine Sawyer, you're out here doing everything. You are out here warming the necks of the people. You are always doing something incredible and awesome. And no matter what you're doing, whether it's warming the necks of the people or teach me the word culinarian, thank you for being out there and being you. And the crown always looking ever so right. To two of my favorites, Ashley Watkins and Joy Nickens, two of my favorite streamers, and two of my fellow broadcasters on uh, To Be Announced, which we were doing for Subsume. Thank you. You two have taught me so much, and I look at you two and see the future of whatever you're doing, the future of gaming and broadcasting and art and being out there. You are awesome, the two of you. Incredible, incredible, incredible people. Thank you. Thank you so much. I learned, let me tell you something, whether it's sitting down and eating a dinner or lunch with you all, having those hot bowls of ramen, or whether it's us sitting there talking about what we enjoy, or whether it's gaming with you and just laughing and having a great time. Thanks. I truly appreciate it, honestly. To three people who I look at and I go, those are like the not gold standard, but like vibranium standard. Karma Horn, Angelique Roche, and Cheyenne the Geek. You three are incredible. Holy cow. I've watched and I've learned and I take in, and you're just amazing people, honestly. Thank you to Subsume for allowing me to moderate a panel. Dedrin Sneed, thank you for allowing me to do a little broadcast show on your channel. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much, sir. Black Sci-Fi, Robert, Maurice, thank you for putting me on, asking me to write reviews for comics, which I never thought I would do, and I fought that for the longest time because I thought I could never do it, and I'm doing it, and I'm so appreciative, and so thank you very much for that. And I want to thank, last person I'm going to thank, I mean, there are so many other people that I can thank, people who have been here and who have always supported me. Ferdy, I know you're probably watching or listening. Thank you so very much, dude. You've been out. I told you, sweet potato pie. I told you, it's no joke. Sweet potato pie is the truth. I told you. Pumpkin pie is like an amateur hour. So sweet potato pie. I'm telling you. Al and the Aguilars, you guys will always be my family. You guys will always be my second family. For real. Lahat ito ay para sa'yo. You know what I mean? Y'all didn't know I was going to pull out some in Tagalog, did you? You didn't know, did you? You didn't know. You never know what I'm going to do. Never. I want to thank this person who's awesome, and he has not been on the show yet. But David F. Walker, incredible writer. Your transparency on being a caregiver, everything that you're going through with your mother, with her illness and trying to have your life, your career, and take care of her in the best way that you can, while also talking about your mental health woes and a Pop-Tart binge and your health issues, and talking about them, being so transparent with it. I've spoken to you 3 times, and each time I learned something different, and you were a pleasure each time. You don't remember me, and that's fine. I don't expect you to remember me. I'm not that. No, but you did. We had a great conversation at the Schomburg one year when I asked you to sign a book that you hadn't seen in years, number 13, I believe it was. And we had a really great conversation about Occupy Avengers and Brotherhood of the Wolf and Manny. We had a great conversation about that, and it was just really fun. You are what I aspire to in my emotional maturity and my emotional intellect. You are what I aspire to when I look at those traits that you have. Those are things that I aspire to. Going through what I'm going through with my mother, and different illness than what your mother has, but still being in that boat of being a son and a caregiver and doing whatever you can. And some days they're great, awesome. Some days, meh, yassi. And other days it's like, it's hard to get out of bed. You do it, and you do these incredible things, and you may not think of, you may think it's whatever. But if I'm seeing it, a lot of other people seeing it, and you're inspiring, and thank you, truly thank you. You've all made my year better, and you've all taught me something you may not have even thought you did, but you did, and I appreciate it. Thank you from the bottom of my little obsidian heart. There you go. So that's the show, folks. Thank you to Black women. Thank you to all my pancake heads. The pancake army is beautiful and strong, and I will be having more people to come through in 2024. I have a list of people that I'd love to talk to. Brandon Thomas, Joanne Starrer, yeah, Ariel Johnson, Eve L. Ewing, LeVar Burton. I know. These are very lofty goals for you, boy. But I got pretty broad shoulders, so I can lift things. All right? So you'll have a very good day. Enjoy the rest of it. Have a happy and safe new year. And if you're around, if you see me in whatever on these social webs, tell your boy happy birthday. This is the year that I'd like to more celebrate my birthday. All right? Y'all have a good one. I'll see you later. Thank you so very much. And stay up. Shoulder shake for the end of the year.